Jak rovnováha velí.
Vítej ve vyvolávačově žlebu.
Vše má svou symetrii. Kráčíme po stejné cestě.
Sekund do zrození poskoku. Zrodili se poskoci.
Soustřed se. Cokoliv je nezbytné. Našlapuj zlehka. Váhavost předchází porážku. Nedůstojný protivník. Vyrazím bez problémů. Pod rouškou soumraku. Rozumím.
Zabili tě. Nepřítel byl zabit. Nepřítel byl zabit.
Našlapuj zlehka. Rozumím. Kráčíme po stejné cestě. Soustřed se. Čest je jako ostří nože. Beze všeho.
Vyjasnění.
Váhavost předchází porážku. Vyrazím bez problémů. Našlapuj zlehka.
Nepřítel byl zabit. Dvojzářez.
Vyrazím bez prodlení.
Váš tým zničil věc.
Beze všeho. Cíl zaměřen. Další nedůstojný protivník.
Nekompromisní.
Cokoliv je nezbytné. Váhavost přichází porážku.
Nezastavitelný.
Pod rouškou soumrak. Nezbytná další nedůstojný protivník. Jistě. Soustřeď se.
Vyjasnění. Překaženo.
Rozumím.
These comps, the entire LCS season, they won playing super slow, late game composition that scale just horrendously, very well. I mean, terrifically into the late.
The exact opposite.
Yeah, scale terrifically into the late game, like AP Cog and stuff like that. And sure, maybe it won't work here, but you've got nothing to lose practically.
Celý svět na hrotu jediného šípu.
Just stop trying to copy what others are doing and really just go with your strength. LGD for me.
Both teams looking for a win. We'll see who comes away with it. Well, without further ado, let's step inside the Doc Pullman for Game 1 after God V shares his impressions of TSM's Great Dane in the mid lane.
因为我看他的比赛比较少，但以我对他的印象来说的话，他是一个对线能力很强的人，然后队伍也很愿意就是依赖他，然后依靠他来开，就是他给你的压力感一定会很强，但是这样子队伍不一定能赢。
And Bjergsen's going to need to carry real hard to help TSM for the rest of the group stage. I'm Quickshot, joined here with Jat and Pastry Time as we cover the opening games on the last day of the first week of groups. It's North America's Team Solomid taking on the #1 seed from China's LPL. It's LGD Gaming. And what a start, 0-2 for the #1 team from China.
Not expected.
I think with the correlation of the tweet today, that is my biggest surprise of groups.
And for me, it's just been a total three-way collapse of the top half of the map from LGD that's really got them into strife. TBQ has been heavily targeted and picked on in the bans and on the Rift. Acorn when he's playing low econ or carry, just can't seem to really put everything together. And unfortunately, to top it all off, Godby, he's not playing hard carries to kind of make up for the deficit with Akon and TBQ not playing too well. And that leaves Imp and POA on the bottom lane with way too much heavy lifting to do.
Yeah, it really is. Yesterday on that server, like so much difficulties against Arrow's Cogmore. Team Solo Mid, they're once again tripping on the international stage. Jet, it's like MSI all over again.
Yeah, except this time it's not a surprise that they're losing any of their games for many, because it was expected coming in, and they've been floundering. The interesting thing is that their early games have actually been non-disastrous. Bjergsen had an amazing laning phase against Myeongne, and a lot of the other has been doing that as well, but they are unable to keep those modest leads due to their complete lack of team cohesion. And all season, we have heard from TSM that they are trying to diversify from that one strategy, which is centered around Bjergsen, and that they have communication issues that they're fixing. But the most damning thing is their self-identified issues are almost worse here, so it doesn't look good for TSM.
It really doesn't. If there were a time to try turn around, it would have to be this game. Guys, the teams there are busy getting ready for picks and bans. Let's take a look at the lineups. On the blue side, it is North America's Team Solo Mid. Dyrus in the top lane. Santorin in the jungle. Bjergsen, the big Dane in the mid lane. With Wild Kurt in the lane carry, and of course his support, Lust Boy. Loco Doco behind the team as the captain.
I have to do better in picks and bans today, as will the team on the red side, LGD Gaming. We have over here with Acorn in the top lane. TBQ in the jungle, he has been punished heavily thus far. Godby in the mid lane, see if he can pick a hard carry champion and 180 carry. And PYL, his support friend with Firefox.
For Imp in the audience. We're about to get into picks and bans. Dyrus on Darius, not a great performance, but he was also left out to dry by his team. And looking at the other side, LGD with some questionable decisions, maybe, picks and bans. You know, Paige, do you want to talk to maybe some of the historical picks and ban strategies that we've been seeing from LGD versus now at Worlds?
Absolutely, and LGD are a team that certainly late in the season started drafting very well when they won in summer. So to see them here at Worlds, you can just tell with the picks they're going with stuff like TBQ getting banned out, even Heckroom for Akon, which is sort of uncommon, despite the fact that we saw Huni play it on day one. These are just outdated picks for LGD. They're clearly going back to what's comfortable and what works for them, but this is not going to work on this matter.
Well, here's the thing about this draft is, Monty even mentioned on the analyst desk, TSM's drafts are very transparent. So if you're going to be able to outdraft anyone, these have been the two weakest drafting teams in this group so far. We'll see if one of them can actually get an edge here.
It poses an interesting question. If both teams are having questionable drafts, who can do the least damage in picks and bans?
I mean, it generally means that they're not going to be punished as hard, and both teams will end up getting compositions that they are comfortable with that hopefully won't be countered for both of these guys.
But we're seeing again, Lee Sin and Rek'Sai. Again, TBQ's champion pool has been hit. That's the third time we've seen both of those champions removed. So the entire group recognizing TBQ just not as comfortable as the champions. He's trying to least
And yeah, the issue is that apart from that, there's not really much else. He has played a bit of Vi. It was a popular champion for him, at least. He can sort of play even Rengar, sort of a big back of the champions. But again, on this metagame, on this patch, these are not champions that you can, I think, pick easily and expect to win a lot of the time.
Yeah, I actually really like the Team Solo Mid base. They are targeted specifically at the strength or weakness of LGD. Strength in the fact that they're banning the Kog'Maw away from him, and weakness in the fact that they're banning away TBQ.
Mordekaiser or Lulu, what will the final ban be from LGD? That is the question.
I would think it would be Mordekaiser. There was a game where he completely slipped through the ban phase. That was yesterday. Wow. LGD versus KT, so now at least they have both. And this is actually where it gets a little bit dangerous. I think you pick However, because as a Juggernaut, it's much like when Darius into Lulu, you can still kite him around. He doesn't have an distance.
Oh! TSM disagreed.
They did the same thing yesterday, Quick Shot. They picked the Darius with the Lulu up and they ended up getting kited. However, this is at least kind of exciting.
Yeah, Mordekaiser back on the route for one more game here. Like you mentioned, it's only one game that he's slipped through completely. Does have one win and a whole host of bans apart from that. I have to say, Jungle Champion's still not sure what they're going to play. TBQ can also go to Gragas. That's one other champion he's played to reasonable success. But whatever it is, I have to think LGD are going to pick a jungle right now.
This is throwing a big wrench in the draft phase. TSM was expecting a Mordekaiser ban. However, the one team who didn't ban Mordekaiser was the LGD. So that leaves a lot of stuff free. This would be the logical choices for LGD. AD carries in particular, I actually think are even stronger against Juggernauts in particular because they are the ones that will be kiting them. And because of the Lulu, the Callista generally bursted as hard by World. And I think that's some really strong counter picks up against the AD.
Just regionally, Imp's Callista is probably the best in the LPL. Certainly one of the best here at Worlds. He got that champion banned against him so many times in the LPL, even though Callista's sort of fallen out of favor. So a smart pick here from LGD.
Vegas locked in. Now their jungle champion denied from TTQ. Then only a couple of different options, but all of them going down that tier list. We talked extensively about jungle champions and what we're expecting to see. They're going to be the flying in or is there
it depends how much faith they want to put in TTQ. If they want to put him on an easier champion that can execute around LGD's strengths. We haven't seen Nunu yet at Worlds or even for a very long time in competitive, but it was this specific use case. One snowball on Mordekaiser, he's not hitting anyone with that third key.
I think the other thing as well is that if they go with this, it's very Imp-centric, this team, can't we talk about?
We did it! Alright, this has been a champion that has been hovered frequently. A lot of people have been playing it in solo queue, and it's probably mid as well.
Yeah?
When was the last time we saw Brand mid? Was it Season 1 World Championship? It's going way back.
Back to Brand and Malzahar days.
Oh my.
They were
It could also be Brand support. Brand support is actually the stronger version of Brand in most scenarios.
In this team composition, you maybe assume that with an Acorn counter pick, depending on what Dyrus wants to run. I mean, you don't even know at this stage, but the Nunu was also locked in. Just as a side note, in both of TSM's previous games, Twisted Fate was in fact banned against Bjergsen, and you can see the hover, so he's toying with that idea.
Certainly is.
Sorry, I didn't hear a word you said.
There's still Brand happening?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if Brand was going mid or support. There's like, I mean, the support actually makes more sense, I think, because Brand won't be punished as much for positioning since Callista can use the Fate's Call. TSM is going all in on these Juggernauts, so they will be so heavily kited unless they get really clean initiation.
And what we talked about, Bjergsen, the shining light really for TSM. He has to do so much work in these games to get the side lanes ahead here. He's got Twisted Fate. He's expected to make an impact on the champion, and he's certainly going to have to.
Yeah, the Twisted Fate has been banned heavily against Bjergsen. So really...
There's never a time. There was ever a time for Bjergsen to step up on a champion.
Yeah.
Twisted Fate is now, but yeah, Brand's going to be fun. Looks like it might actually be support.
And I want so much to see Godby play Teleport Diana. He was the one who really popularized this pick, and everyone wanted to play Teleport Diana like Godby. There
you go, you're going to get your wish. Diana has been locked in. That does mean it's Brand support for TLAL. So this is a big step.
Yeah, aside from the Brand, this is a very common LGD composition, right? When they pick the Lulu, you don't actually expect Godby to play it. You would have expected them to play in the top lane for Acorn, which was why it was so weird when they played Lulu on the first day of group stages that they played. Of course, the support Brand is just a whole bunch of AoE damage in this. The amount of damage that Brand puts out on support is basically mid-lane tier, even with support items. That's why he's so effective.
Yes, it helps when you've got a melee AD carry role to throw those seers out at. As a note, this is game 19 of the group stages, and with Diana and Twisted Fate locked in. 19 unique mid-lane. Somewhere, champion diversity celebrates, because we are continuing to see these exquisite champs. Now, lane swap, is this going to be a thing? I cannot imagine Morden Thresh really want to lane into Callista Brand.
I think it's a pretty big factor in here. One of the major reasons Mordekaiser is strong is because of the mismatch you get on the opposing lane, and when you're level 6, you can force a turret dive, which then snowballs into a dragon. So if LGD can somehow deny the lane swap and actually negate that inherent experience advantage that Mordekaiser grants, that's one way to try and work around it.
We'll have to see what they decide to do. Those team compositions will be flashing on your screen in just a moment. Guys at home, jump onto Twitter. Let us know who's going to pick up their first victory here. Both TSM and LGD 0-2 in the World Championships. Hashtag TSM win or hashtag LGD win. Who will be getting that W? Will it be support Brand? Or will it be ADC Mord?
So I actually just received words from our stats guy that Brand mid was played by Dade in the LPL in a game that had no consequences. So technically, it has been played recently, but not in any stage with how much is online. These are both 0-2 teams. The win is an absolute must.
And we are loading onto the Rift for game 1 in day 4. Let's take a look how this cookie crumbles. Both solo laners for TSM and LGD are running Flash Teleport. So continuing to see that TP mid meta, if we can go that far, really establishing.
Yeah, this world has been so much about pressure and specifically just capitalizing on any misposition or misplay by any individual. When you have double teleport, it means you can really find the position on the map where the mistake is being made.
I feel like the other thing there as well is that we talked a lot about these teams having strong individual players, but maybe not the best cohesion in the first few games we've seen. So double teleport is very team-oriented. So I want to see if these teams can really line it up and make the clutch plays with the summoner spell.
From UIL towards the red buff, spotted out. No lane swap deep vision that we've become relatively accustomed to. Safe in nap spots. It looks like it's going to be standard lanes, at least for current duo setup.
Yep, I'm really interested to watch this Brand versus Mordekaiser lane and how because in standard teams have been scrimming with against Mordekaiser, he seems to crush. They hit level 2 first, and then they never relent their advantage. That means they're level 6 by the time they enter bot level 4. That means they rotate the jungler and mid laner down, and because of the level discrepancy, you either have to lane swap or just completely sit everyone under that turret. The dive executes, the AD carry goes down, then they take Dragon, and then it all just goes in. This is when I talk about it, this is that's how this is why he's mad. This is specifically what you do, and if you execute it and don't make it, then you can't do anything against it. LGD clearly has other plans. Again, they don't ban Mordekaiser, and they are ready to
whether or not it is an effective counter. At level 1, PYL did take conflagration, and at level 2 has put a point into Sia, so that stun opportunity will be up. And in contrast to H2K, they ran Mordekaiser in the AD carry position. They did not let double
It's been so long since we've really seen him play that at level 2, he has a 2-second stun if he lands that skill shot. That is a long, long time he gets CC'd so early on. So I like that we're seeing standard lanes. Imp and PYL, they've done it before. It's not very often, but they're just going to play straight up 2v2 and try and honestly just outclass TSM bottom.
A lot of respect from both Wild Turtle and Last Boy. Wild Turtle takes a chunk there from PYL. Gonna try and farm up. Death Sentence does connect, and Last Boy goes in. That's an early flash away from PYL. Sia's gonna connect. There's that 2-second stun. Imp is gonna throw out
really early teleport.
That's double teleport.
Yeah, they're gonna go in there. Now PYL's getting a move back. Dyrus moving in first by the TSM. Bot gets it. Now Godby exhausted, gonna be chased down. LGD though. He's gonna go in. 2 kills for TSM, but Imp gets the trade kill. How much can he get back? Wild Turtle now, maybe the next one.
Not over yet. We do see him trying to chase. Wild Turtle going to get some heal from that Harvester of Sorrows. 2-1 in the first fight.
As far as needing an advantage on your Mordekaiser to consistently shove the lane and get work done, that's about the best possible thing that could have happened for TSM. Last Boy lands the hook, PYL flashes. I think, honestly, he didn't need to use that flash early because Mordekaiser had not yet skilled Q, and he just used his cooldowns on the minion wave. So PYL actually wasn't under threat because then they knew he had no escape and they knew they could punish the play. So a misplay by PYL is punished properly by TSM.
And a second time we're seeing those duo lanes being punished. Yesterday, PYL got ran around in circles. Santorin's caught!
Control that stun flooding. TVQ's gonna keep slapping away. Santorin, he'll flat body slam away, but they will chase. LGD gonna get a kill back.
That's a 2-second stun that Brand brings so early on into the game. They invaded the jungle after the long fight, and it was just not respected by Santorin. Because the bottom lane was shut down, it's one of those key calls. You have to be heavy enough to realize that the bottom lane is there. PYL will have been able to